Alright, hello. I'll just let a few people join before I start chatting about anything in general. But funnily enough, I saw that my video earlier has something like 270% more views in the initial time it's been up than lots of other videos. So I don't know if it's just because the title was, really sort of clickbaity. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a clickbaity title because it's true, but no, I can't play guitar very well. I've got an electric guitar and acoustic guitar, but I can't play them well. Depends which one. There's two behind me. Right, I've got quite a strong cup of coffee here because I had a 6-hour rehearsal earlier, so I'm pretty tired. So I don't know how long I'm going to last on this stream. We will see. What do you mean, I think I can't make questions? You can ask questions during the stream? No, because I've not got them in the room with me. At least I don't think I have. No, they're both, I think, in the conservatory out there. Right, what I'm just going to quickly do is just update something on my phone because I wanted to do it before I started the stream and then I forgot. So let's just pop this on here. And I will be ready in just a second to actually talk properly on the stream. Right, there we go. Right, that's done. Now it's a short magazine Lee Enfield, #1 Mark III. I think it's the technical designation for it. Yeah, I mean, I did block some people who actually said things like, "Oh no, real communism's not been tried, you idiot. All of those communist regimes aren't communist." Well, if you'd watched my YouTube videos enough, Ich bin ein Vogel, you'd know that I have a few other hobbies other than air guns. Not air guns, sorry, gas masks. And for what the person Argy 007 is saying, that's completely illegal, so obviously no, I've not done that. I've got Arma 3, I just don't play it very much because I think Arma 2 is a better game. Yeah, I've got quite a few super chats before. Some streams I'll not get any, sometimes I get more than one on the stream. If there's people asking questions that I've answered on a lot of the recent streams, I'm not going to bother answering them, just because I get tired of repeating the same questions over and over. I don't know for certain if the PBS has asbestos in the filters, but I wouldn't really recommend breathing through them. The PDF, that's a children's mask, so I personally wouldn't use it for anything because it wouldn't fit me. You can't throw a GP5 filter away, that's illegal, because it contains asbestos. Just simply keep it sealed and don't throw it away. Yeah, there's a big recurve bow, like an Olympic size recurve bow, that's £28 draw weight, I think. There's also a bow that's not really a recurve bow and a flat bow and a compound bow all in that corner. Alright, cool. Glad you weren't too late on mic, because I did see your message, so I was hoping you'd get on. Well, the white powder you actually get on a GP5 is talc, like talcum powder. But, like I said, there is asbestos in GP5 filters. Well, even if it's not illegal, it's still a scummy thing to do, because if you throw asbestos in the regular waste, you risk contaminating, like, the people who work in, like, the, pits, like, landfills and stuff like that of asbestos. Because if they throw, an asbestos filter inside, like, a garbage truck, and it's crushed with a compressor, that will put the asbestos everywhere. You'll have to dispose of it with an asbestos disposal site, like there's rules to doing that. I think in the UK, if it's small amounts of asbestos, you can take it to the specialist dump yourself, If it's large like amounts, you have to get a specialist sort of courier to take it. No, I've not seen that mic. Let me have a look. So, community tab. That looks good, yeah. So what sort of site would they be sold on, Mike, if you were selling those? I quite like the white mug with the knuckle duster on it. I think that looks the best out of all of those. Okay. Well, obviously I think British English, or like whatever you'd call English is the better version of English because it's actual English. American English is basically English with like letters removed in a lot of the words because of the Webster Dictionary. I think like the modern Avon English masks are pretty good. Some of the World War II English masks aren't brilliant, but you know, it depends. But I think like the modern Avon ones, like the S10 and FM12, are very good. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the Colt. Like the Denix SAA, there's one I've got here. Like I said, I've showed that a few times when I'm doing streams, but let's get it in frame on the webcam. Is that in frame now? Is that getting even further out of frame? It's sometimes hard looking at the webcam, trying to actually see what's in frame and what isn't, but yeah, that's the Denix SAA. Pretty good revolver in my opinion. Obviously it's not a live shooting revolver. There are like blanks that do fit it, but I have no idea what size they are because I know this doesn't fit the real rounds in it to stop people attempting to shoot sort of 45 Colt out of it. I've not actually seen a Denix Winchester though, but most Denix things I like. One of my friends got a Denix Brown Bess for his birthday recently, and that's cool. I've seen Who Dares Wins the film. I've not seen a TV show. Yeah, alright, I'm pretty tired. I had today booked off work because I had a 6-hour pantomime rehearsal because we're doing a pantomime in about a week's time. So, you know, that's left me pretty tired because 6-hour rehearsal, you know, doing 2 full-on run-throughs through it in costume is a bit exhausting. No, they're replicas, so you can't live shoot them. That's what I'm saying. This is designed not to fit real ammunition because it's obviously not pressurized to be able to do it. I don't know if you can see on the webcam, but there's actually like a plug in the barrel. The barrel, yeah, you can see that just about. The barrel doesn't go all the way down. It's sort of part way down. It's filled in because obviously it's designed to be a non-firing replica. Yeah, we're just doing Sleeping Beauty, but obviously it's like a comedy version of it. Then we raise a load of money for charity normally. Yep, the Enfield's the one up there, obviously. Cool. Oh, I'll mention this again when Mike's back, but what I've done, Richard, you might find interesting, is I've ordered 2 spearheads. One is, I think, a windlass steelcraft spearhead. And the other one is a like reenactment spearhead. So it's one with you know, like the type of head on that's like flat at the end, so you could use it for sparring. So I want to get those so I can. I don't know what the actual like diameter of the sockets are going to be yet. I'm going to wait for them to come, then I'm going to measure them so I can order 2 poles that are closest to the size possible. So you know, like when you did me the bill hook head, I didn't have to mess about with it. But both of them are that kind of like socket for a rivet kind of mount. And then what I'm going to do is, you know, have one as a live actual real spear, and then have the other one as like a training sparring one, because I've got like the sparring bokken that's down there. So that way, you know, it means I can actually at least have 2 sparring things, and I can hopefully start sparring my friend, because he's not got round to buying a book and he keeps saying he's going to get yet, so at least then we'll have 2 sparring weapons. For Agog, I already said I've had super chats before. I've got like a paintball gun somewhere, but it's like one of the spring ones. But yeah, lots of things do use paintball guns as like a riot control thing. If enough people want it, I might try and do a Doctor Who empty child thing with a gas mask, but I'd have to try and find a mask that looks like the one in the episode. I have a feeling it's not a real mask, is it? It's... because it looks like a British kind of World War II civilian mask, but it's not actually, because it's got 2 separate eye holes rather than the clear bit of plastic. It looks more like a C7, to be honest. If I did a C7 one, I'd have to hold my breath. Actually, I suppose that Swedish one I've got, actually, the Swedish Type 32 mask, whatever it's called, it's probably the closest one to it. Yeah, I suppose I'd probably use a Swedish Type 32 gas mask if I was to do that video, because that definitely looks the closest to it. It's a shame I don't have that with like black rubber rather than the grey rubber, but I suppose if I was to just do a video like that, I could use that mask. No, I mean, the closest you're going to get to cheek filter mask is like the Avon M50 and the Scott GSR, which is filters that attach on the outside but are designed to be relatively flat, while only the M50 actually manages that because the GSR filters are huge. Yeah, it's an IBM Model M, so it's got spring buckling keys. No, I do not know any Russian. I cannot speak Russian. The only language I can actually speak is English, and I can completely butcher German if I tried, but mein Deutsch is nicht gut, so I'm not going to sprechen Sie Deutsch. As I said, I just need a load of coffee at the moment. I've thought before maybe doing a gas mask type book, but then I think it's a bit pointless because there are proper, very well done ones already of that. So I don't really see why I'd do a book. Well, in terms of practicality for wearing them, recent ones obviously, but I think a lot of the older ones look cooler, like the more retro designs. Manual transmission. I've only driven an auto transmission once and I really didn't like it because of the creep. I mean, in theory, I suppose a really high-end car with auto transmission would be really good, but as a regular, like, drivable car, I like actually manually being able to select, you know, the right gears for the right scenarios, not relying on the car's computer to know what gear it needs. I've bought loads of stuff from Blades and Bows before, and I've bought nothing from Battle Orders, so that should tell you what I think about that. That's not to say Battle Orders are bad, I've just never used them. I know people have bought from them and it's been fine. But sadly Blades and Bows are doing a closing down sale now because they've been completely screwed over by the new UK knife laws, like offensive weapons bill they're trying to put through. Yeah, S10 and S6 are both NATO 40mm. Polish MP5 is my favourite Polish mask. The Polish MP6 looks really good, but I don't have that mask, so I can't comment on how good it is. I've already talked about the L1A one behind me quite a lot. I've got a basic water filter, yeah, and I've got lots of rations, and I've got bottled water, but as I've said, I'm not going to prepare for a long-term, you know, shit hits the fan type thing, just because I think it's completely implausible you'll survive a really sort of dragged-out Threads-like scenario. For nuclear war, it really doesn't matter, anything that's basically got a particle filter on it. Yeah, the XM8's interesting. There was a Forgotten Weapons video I watched on it recently that showed you like a lot of the designs of the thing. That's very similar to the G36, isn't it? I thought it was like an interesting looking, you know, rifle and everything, but I know they had problems with them during the actual trials. I only have a few US masks, so you can search on my channel and see all the American masks I have. But I don't have that mask, no. I've got an M3 from World War II, the M3 like voice diaphragm mask, whatever it's called. I'll just wait for some more questions to come through. Does you mean the M1 Garand as in the M1 Garand rifle? Yeah, very good, because it was like one of the first battle rifles of World War II. Because obviously a lot of World War II rifles were just bolt action only. So obviously America replaced the Springfield with the Garand, and yeah, the Garand was very good for what it was. I think obviously a Garand with external magazines would have been better, but what it was fine. Your filter can't run out in a radiation zone, because basically radiation is a particle threat, not a vapor threat. At least the radiation you can block with a filter. So your filter slowly clogs up, so it gets more and more difficult to breathe through the filter, but it won't actually get through the filter. You see, the thing is, like with chemical vapors, is they eventually, you know, the activated charcoal in the filter totally absorbs to its capacity, and then the gas gets through. Whereas with radiation and particles, things like that, the more they block the filter up, the harder it becomes to breathe, but the filter doesn't lose efficiency, it actually gets more efficient the more clogged it gets. Do you mean a Sturmgewehr 44? Wow, it depends, because if it's going to be, you know, just one mask, then I'd keep it for me, but I've not got just one mask, I've got loads, so everybody could have one if they needed one. That's not bad, 30 quid. I mean, or what is that, 90 quid? Yeah, 30 quid. Next time I go to the opticians, if I can get the frames for something like that after I've had an eye test done, I'd probably consider it, but at the moment I don't really need anything like that. That's a blue snowball at the moment, but when I'm actually filming normal videos, I'm just talking to the camcorder's microphone. It triggered apparently a lot of people, but it also got a lot of views, and it's just my completely honest opinion, because, you know, if I've got people who are fans of me, I'd say, and they're like the people who, you know, communism did nothing wrong, it's a brilliant ideology, they're not really the people I want sort of being my fans anyway, to be honest, because I don't really like people who, you know, fetishize murderous regimes, genocidal regimes, as, you know, I'm not a fan of that, to be honest. No, I just do a lot of exercise at home, and like, the job I do is blue collar, so I get exercise when I'm working. Well, in the UK, you can't use something like a sword for personal defence, you get done for it. But if you meant, you know, in a country where you could feasibly get something like that for defence, well, my favourite sword's the falchion I've got, but that's not a mass-produced one, so, you know, that's a commissioned one. I'm trying to think what I'd actually recommend out of all my swords. I mean, out of all my swords, if I wasn't going to use the falchion, maybe that sabre I've got up there, it's slightly out of frame, because you can see the katana there and the arming sword, but there's a sabre also there. Maybe the windlass sabre I've got, but, you know, for a personal defence sword, you probably want something shorter, because shorter swords are easier to manage and learn how to use. The Pyro's mask is most similar to a British C7 mask, but it's not a real mask, the Pyro's mask. Most aren't, it's only the M15 and GSR that have done that. Every other modern NATO nation's mask is still 40mm. No, because then Britain would get even worse if we decided to genocide like a quarter of the country and have no food. Yeah, I've got a kettlebell. There's two down here. This is the 12 kilo one, which is obviously the lighter one. There you can see. I've also got a 40 kilo kettlebell down there, but I don't do much for that other than sort of deadlifting, because obviously trying to do one-handed exercise with a 40 kilo kettlebell is a pretty easy way to damage tendons in your arm. Yeah, Barnet Rapier's fine. I've not done really anything extensive with it. I haven't done really any practice with any of my swords recently, other than, you know, like the actual muscle training, sadly, but you know, so far there's nothing wrong with it, so, you know, I've not managed to bend it, or it's not got any rust on it or anything like that. Any mask that's like a 40mm mask or whatever's good for dust, also like the 3M style masks. I would never recommend an actual dust mask though, I'd always say go with a proper half or full face respirator, just because they offer a much better level of protection. Call of Pripyat's the best of the Stalker games in my opinion because it's the most polished from release. Yeah, I mean, it was really sad for like countries like Poland because obviously they were occupied by Nazi Germany during a lot of World War II. I mean, I know Poland was invaded and from both sides by the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. So obviously the Poles suffered under Nazi Germany, and then once the Nazis were defeated by the Soviet Union, they suffered under communism for like 60 odd years, so about 50 years. So, you know, it was really horrible for countries like Poland, I guess the Czech Republic, Hungary, all those sort of nations, because, you know, they got it from both sides, really. You know, that's why I think, like, if you talk to people who lived in these former Eastern Bloc countries, most of them are the first people to tell you about how bad communism is, but, you know, it's kids from middle-class families in America and Britain, like Western Europe, who seem to think it was great, who never had to live under, you know, the tyranny of it. The recurve bow is, I'll see if I think it's a geologic one. I've got a video of it on the channel. Let's see if I can get it out. Oh, banging the ceiling too much. Yeah, it's a geologic Initech 2 is the name of it. You can buy these from Decathlon. I think they still sell them in Decathlon. I can't really show it too well with the chair being there, but it's a 28 inch, sorry not 28 inch, 28 pound draw. I'll just stick that there for now and I'll put that away later. But even at £28 that can shoot arrows very quickly just because of how tall it is and obviously it being like carbon fibre or whatever it is. Well, with biological gas masks, they're all NBC basically, which is nuclear biological chemical. They work against the same things because of how filters are designed. Let me search M369 gas mask. Do you mean a civilian duty mask? It's not that mask because the actual face piece is different, the filter design is different, and there's not a nose valve. It's obviously a prop they made for the actual show. But I think the closest thing to it probably is the Type 32, or like, you know, black version of that. If you have like a ski mask or a balaclava on, no, you can't wear a gas mask. You'd have to wear the hood over the gas mask, not the gas mask over the hood. No, I don't have any replicated or deactivated grenades. No idea, I think there is attachment slots on it by the look of it. Yeah, there is. If you see there's a thing where you can install something there, you can install bits there. There's a thing you can install on that side, looks like for a sight or whatever. I've just got an arrow rest stuck on it at the moment, which I don't think's even in frame. But yeah, there are things that you can attach to this, I just never bothered. Because I kind of like shooting a bow without lots of silly attachments on it. You know, learning where the arrows go yourself rather than relying on the sight for a regular bow. No, not planning on playing a new Metro game. I've played Minecraft and I don't like it. Well, I'm just not a fan of it. I've never been able to get into it. That sounds good, Richard. Well, the Soviet mask you listed isn't real, so I don't know which Soviet mask you're actually on about. If you've got a bit of a beard, then it's probably going to compromise the seal. And, no, I don't play Fortnite either. I've played Half-Life 2, I've even streamed it on this channel before. I've already played Stalker, I did a full playthrough of Call of Pripyat on the stream. Well, we'll have to see if we even do leave the EU on the 29th of March at the moment, won't we? Yeah, as said, lots and lots of people suffered under it during, you know, like the 50s to the 90s. I mean, I know, like, Stalin's period was probably the worst bit, Stalin in Russia and Mao in China, but in general, most of the communist regimes were not nice to live under. No, I don't have any gas masks from South Africa. I don't actually know what masks they've used. It's not even a Nagant. I don't have a World War I helmet, so how could I show you one? No, it's fine, it exists, I just don't play it personally. Alright, I'm going to finish my coffee off before it gets too cold. I believe there's a lot more to existence than science can prove at the moment. Whether or not it's a god in the sense of sort of Abrahamic religions, I don't know. If you ask me what religion I was, I'd say I'm Christian, just because that's like the cultural sort of religion of my country, and I think it's a very important thing to keep your history going. But that doesn't mean I agree with lots of organised kind of religious stuff, because I don't. I've already said why pikemen are the best units in Stronghold Crusader, because you can spam them out the fastest logistically on most of the maps, and they can fill in moats and they can climb ladders. I mean, yeah, if you actually have a bayonet on a deactivated rifle, you've got something you can use on it if you actually push came to shove and you had to use lethal force or physical force. You've actually got the bayonet there to back it up. I mean, you'd hope probably that the person would run off on seeing it, but you don't know. Maybe the SBS, I don't know, it probably depends. I think like both the SBS and SAS and lots of other nations' very good special forces are probably pretty equal. No, I haven't done the cadets or anything military. I like how some people obviously cannot understand the bit that says, you know, we're not going to talk about politics on here, and they keep bringing up religion and politics. Next time somebody does it, they're just getting an instant block. SHMS is my favourite Soviet mask. The SLR 762 NATO, it's neither of those. It was originally designed, the FAL for 280 British. But then when America went to 762 NATO, they changed it to be 762 NATO, and then America still didn't adopt it anyway. Oh, the Polish MUA is actually not based on the GB5, it's based on the SHM41, because there's a Polish OM14. And then there's the MUA, which is the OM14 with a voice diaphragm. So they're all basically SHM41 spin-offs. I haven't heard about the one in Kenya. I know there was one, unless that was one like during a shopping mall thing they had a while ago. But I do know there was like an SAS thing, was it in Sierra Leone, where they rescued loads of like captured peacekeepers. It's not a machine gun, it's just a carry handle that you can fold down. I've got it in that position because it means it sits flush against the wall. But you can have the carry handle just completely folded down. I think it was Australia that had... Was it the L2A1 or the L1A2? which was basically that same rifle but with a longer, heavier barrel and automatic function to be used like, you know, a bit like the RPK is to an AK, but regular SLRs were semi-auto only because, you know, 7.62 NATO is pretty uncontrollable in a light rifle. Probably a TF1, just simply for the fact you can stick NATO filters on it without modifying the mask in any way. Those ones aren't gun replicas, they're deactivated, but the replica ones are just from Blades and Bows, I think, because they're from Denix. This is just a Seiko Kinetic. No, because these are deactivated guns, they're not airsoft guns. FBI, I just watched the Forgotten Weapons video on it, but it's because the L85 was meant to replace the SLR and it was made really cheaply. So the first generation, you know, were just awful basically. Very cheap plastic that fell apart, the mag release was in a stupid place. You know, they were basically just made down to as cheap as they could possibly make them, and they were just built to a really crap standard. The L85A2 fixed a lot of that, and the A3 is apparently even better again. But, you know, it's got a tarnished reputation because the very first generation of it, the one that was issued to like everybody in the British Army, was an unfit rifle. Not a live shooting RPG-7, no. Yeah, that'd be good, Mike, if you get one of those. It'd be interesting knowing what a Denix Winchester's actually like. I have no idea, because I assume probably whatever Israel gives us the children's gas mask, but most nations don't make children's gas masks anymore because there's not really a market for them in a sense. Well, weirdly enough, my favourite thing to talk about on YouTube's a lot to do with gas masks and militaria. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the A2's problems are still going to be because it's a bullpup rifle, and like the problems that come with a bullpup, but it's at least not the problems of it falls apart. Yeah, Denix replicas are fine, as we were saying earlier in the stream. They're not the most accurate of all replicas, but for the price they cost, they're very good. Yeah, because the gun laws, a lot of them are knee-jerk reactions in the UK, so there's no actual, you know, like, consistency between the different things. Airsoft and air rifles and deactivated guns and replica guns all fall under different things. As I've already said, that's not a Mosin Nagant. If you ask that again, I'm assuming you're doing it to be a troll. Denix will be fine for filmmakers as long as you're not shooting blanks from them, because obviously most of them can't shoot blanks, because they're designed to be sort of inert replicas with moving parts but not actually shoot. I've already answered the watch question, so I'm assuming you're doing that to be a troll now. In theory, anything jammed into a Kalashnikov can stop it shooting. Does it have one of those cocking handles though on the L85A2 that's like the problem like the Swiss like SIG 550s had, where it's designed to be like for when you clean the gun and take it apart, it's designed so you can remove the handle, but it's not, you know, like built strong enough, because like with the FAL you can't remove the handle, the charging handle. Stronghold Crusader, the original. Well, I've considered it, but the problem is I've never seen any for a decent price. They've always been very expensive or in very bad condition. Like, if I saw a Martini Henry in working condition for a decent amount of money, then yeah, I'd go for it. But I'm not really going to go for some really obscure, weird caliber for, you know, over £1,000. I'd like it to be one that's, you know, an interesting rifle in and of itself. Yeah, that'd be good if you have another display board. No, I don't have an M1911. In theory, I could legally buy a deactivated one, but M1911s in the UK are going to be like over £1,000, so I'm not going to pay that. No, I don't have a firearms license, and I would not apply for one, as reasons I've gone into loads of times before. Basically, just that in the UK. I have no actual need for a firearm under like the reasons you can have one in the UK, and I don't want the police, you know, constantly looking into my business because I have a gun license. I find some of that stuff quite interesting, like spy pens and things like that, but no, I don't have any. Yeah, I think that's like what I was sort of getting at, that the charging handle's designed, yeah, so you can take it apart when you strip it. No, I only think Richard Weaponsmith is the only one here that has an anvil. I've actually got a really big camo like leaf net thing in the conservatory that's folded up that, yeah, could go over a car. I bought it because when we did one of the pantos we wanted like a jungle thing, so we put up one of those camo nets with the leaves on to, you know, look sort of like a jungle thing for the backdrop. That's completely fine, Jim's history. Glad you find the videos interesting. Somewhere between 90 and 100 masks now. The music question gets asked every stream, so I'm not going to go into it again. I didn't have a day at work today, Mike. As I said, it was rehearsal today, 6-hour day at rehearsal, unless you're talking to Peach or somebody else. I've done videos on the body armour I've got before, so watch those if you're interested. Out of the two, oh, isn't the P08 a Luger? Let me have a look, because I thought the P08 was the Luger. The P08 is a Luger. I think in terms of comfortability, having a hose and then the filter in a satchel is actually more comfortable, but most modern masks have 40mm filters, so, you know, directly attached to the mask. So in theory, if you could get a modern mask, you know, like a CT12 or something like that, that took a hose and it was comfortable to use a hose, probably that. But because most modern masks only are designed for filters that attach directly to the mask, it ends up being those, just because they're the more modern, comfortable masks. You don't need any paperwork to get a deactivated gun, you can simply buy them if they're deactivated, there's no license required. Apparently, it's not even 3A on the Mark 7, at least that's what Tumbo said. So it's probably, I guess, 2 or 2A. Because basically, that's why you can't find the information on it, is because they never had it tested, because it wouldn't meet a 3A standard. No, Israeli filters don't have asbestos. No, they're deactivated, as I've already said several times in the stream. Yeah, so you can get a lot of ex-police vests really cheap. No, if I did that, I'd do videos on it, but there are no shooting ranges near me, sadly. Well, none that actually do shooting I'd want to do. Like I said, there's a few that do 22 long rifle, sort of 10-yard shooting at paper targets, which I'd find really boring. You know, I find the idea more interesting of like big, long-range target shooting kind of thing. Yeah, I've still got the Crossman Nitro Venom, but as I said, it's damaged, and I don't know if I could even get it repaired, and I've not bothered, so I don't shoot it whenever I shoot an air gun. I always shoot my BSA Hornet now. Yeah, that's another thing you can do, as long as it's made to a decent standard. Get like an airsoft vest with a plate carrier size thing and then put, yeah, the panels in. I know it's got 1 million views and it's also demonetized because it's not suitable for advertisers apparently. I don't live in a city at all. I'll probably go on this stream for about 5 more minutes because I'm a bit tired and I'm getting lots of repetitive questions this stream. Oh no, I've not used a thermal scope, no, sorry. I've got short range infrared, or shortwave infrared, which is the one that's based on infrared light, but I don't have a thermal scope. There's lots of vests you can get on eBay with the ballistic plates in as well as the Kevlar, but most of those are quite expensive. No, I don't make any models of aeroplanes or something. Zippo fuel, I'd say a week to 2 weeks if you don't use the lighter and it's in there. The problem with Zippos is you're always going to get sort of evaporation of the fuel because it's something pretty close to sort of gasoline, petrol type stuff. I've got a World War II German Stahlhelm, yeah, it's pretty rusted and doesn't have a liner in, but there's a video up on my channel of it. And no, I didn't see that video, SRS Power, the one on the pistol. Sounds interesting, but I'm not really all that interested in their pistols. Just simply because of the 6 foot-pound limit if you don't have an FAC. Well, I think air pistol would always be limited to 6 foot-pounds, wouldn't they, because of the pistol ban. No, I do not have a Panzerschreck. I don't have any sort of anti-tank weapons. I just got the Stahlhelm on eBay, because it was one that was like 30 quid because it was in bad condition. So, you know, it didn't sell for much. Yeah, in theory I have the 100 megaton theoretical SAR bomb. But I've never tested it to see what megatons it actually is. No, I'm only joking. I mean, in theory, you just need a gas mask that's got good optical front bits, and then you can use any kind of optics with them anyway. You don't need the optics built into the mask itself. Yeah, let me know later, Mike. If not, I'll watch a film. Like I said, I'm pretty tired tonight anyway, so if I'm awake I'll watch, but like I said, the problem is doing a 6-hour rehearsal today has left me pretty exhausted. Now, I don't see the point in spending £1,000 on a deactivated Panzerschreck personally. I've played Metro 2033, I'm not a massive fan of it, as I've said in pretty much every stream where I get asked about it. That's literally it. Kevlar helmets are made from Kevlar rather than normal steel, so they offer a better level of protection. Basically, steel helmets are designed to protect you from shrapnel. Kevlar helmets can protect against shrapnel and some cartridges or bullets. Again, most helmets are only going to be 3A at the best rating, so that's only really going to protect you from pistol rounds, but it's certainly better than nothing. No, I would not buy a full German World War II uniform because I would not want to dress up as a German World War II soldier for pretty obvious reasons. Yeah, isn't it both Panzerschreck and Panzerfaust? It's like Armoured Fist and Armour Fear. It depends. If you mean like AK as in AKM, or like AK-74 as in 7.62x39 or 5.45x39, no. 3A does not stop that, you need a plate carrier. No, because I don't have anything illegal, hunt my challenge. I don't have an English longbow. I would not have the strength to use that effectively. Richard Weaponsmith, who's on here though, can shoot bows like that, so look at his channel. Ah, that's good, Mike. Yeah, because I think I had that same kind of tablet, and I had them for just 30 days, because apparently they can't keep you on them for longer than that, because there's a lot of side effects you can get after that. But for 30 days, they cleared up a lot of the acid reflux problems, and I've not had anything as bad as I've had since then. So I think they definitely did their job. Now, I'm pretty tired, but I've always had a good day, because as I've said to a few people, I've been in a 6-hour drama rehearsal today. Yeah, I've got air rifles, and I've got videos on my air rifles. Now, if it's anything with 47 in the name, in terms of AK-47, it's 7.62 by 39. The AK-74 is a 5.45 by 39 rifle. Anyway, I've gone over the 45 minutes I said I was going to do, so I'm going to stop the stream now. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I was just saying, today it was a bit annoying because I'm a bit tired and I got a lot of people asking the same questions over and over and over. So I've been trying to just ignore those questions, but... So yeah, see you everybody. Thanks for watching, the people who were watching.